So the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, U.S. District Judge Paula Xinis is ordering Donald Trump. He's the judge. Paula Xinis is ordering Donald Trump to bring one of the people that he deported to El Salvador back. To bring Abrego Garcia, 29, to facilitate and effectuate the return of Abrego Garcia, 29 years of age.
So, friends, a federal judge just reaffirmed that the Trump administration must return to the U.S. a man they unconstitutionally deported to El Salvador, and they must do it by 11:59 p.m. on Monday, April 7th. And the judge added that the detention of this man by the Trump administration is, quote, wholly lawless. You know, frankly, that would make a good hashtag to describe the Trump administration more broadly, wouldn't it? Hashtag wholly lawless.
So that's Glenn Kirshner, and he's going to say his tagline.
Let's talk about that, because justice matters.
Justice matters. Here's Donald Trump being totally lawless in Yemen. Here's a gathering of Yemeni people. We don't know who these people are or what they're doing, but Donald Trump doesn't give a damn. Donald Trump likes to just go ahead and bomb people who peacefully gather anywhere in the world. Sitting there bragging about these Houthis gathered for instructions on an attack. Is that what they did? Oops, there will be no attack by these Houthis. They will never sink our ships again. What evidence? How can you tell? Who do you know? How can you tell who any of these people are? And then I guess they're all dead, because I see, how many people are there? About 30 people. Okay, so they drop a bomb. What did they? Was that a nuke? The mother of all bombs. And then once the smoke clears, I mean, it's one thing to issue these strikes, but to just outright brag about it. And then we see a crater right there, and then we don't see anybody around. We don't see anybody else around. So, crazy video. Here's another crazy video of the lawlessness where a Palestinian is embracing the body of his daughter, killed by the Israelis. And of course the Israelis, they killed those ambulance people recently, right? 15 ambulance people. There's protests all over the place. I mean, genocide, how much needs to be said? You shouldn't be allowed to kill a bunch of fucking kids. You shouldn't be allowed to kill a bunch of kids. But apparently the United States is addicted to murdering a bunch of kids. So that's Donald Trump. Donald Trump went ahead and killed that little baby girl. Let's carry on with this story here. Here is the guy, Abrego Garcia. Abrego Garcia, 29 years of age. He's been in America since 2012, so he's been here for, 13 years or so. He's a Salvadorian national. He's sitting in an El Salvador prison right now. He's from Maryland. He's been in the United States for 13 years. There was a 2019 court order from a federal judge that says that he's allowed to be here. He's been persecuted by the gangsters. So what we just did was send a guy back into gangster land, and you know, if we're going to just, the Trump administration is trying to say that he's MS-13. They have no evidence. He's got brown skin. That's all that they got. You know, he's MS-13 because he's got brown skin. So to think that he was actually, the report is he was being victimized by the Barrio 18. So there's a different group, right? You got Bloods, Crips, Tren, Aragua, Barrio 18, MS-13. So they said that Barrio 18 were trying to extort him, and then he needed to get asylum into America. So he has a permit from the Department of Homeland Security to work in America. He's a sheet metal apprentice, and he's got a journeyman, or he's working towards his journeyman license. His wife is an American citizen. So it's interesting that Ted Cruz will say that his mother was an American citizen, even though he's born in Canada. So Ted Cruz gets, American citizenship. Then that fucking First Lady Melania fucking dump, she gets goddamn, citizenship. But this guy here, he's got a court order. There's no evidence whatsoever that he's MS-13. There's also, there's been several people that they deported. There was, some homosexual guy, too. So, you're homosexual in El Salvador, you're running away from the gangland violence, you finally get to America, you get your asylum, you get the court order, and then they ship you back. Why? Because you're brown and they don't give a shit. So this is totally lawless, and if they could do a lawless thing to El Salvador, then they could do, a pro-law thing to send them back. They're acting like they can't do anything, right? They're sitting there saying a judicial order that forces the executive to engage with a foreign power in a certain way, let alone compel certain action by a foreign sovereign, that's constitutionally intolerable. What's constitutionally intolerable is sitting there deporting people without giving them a hearing. Everybody gets a hearing, right? Are they MS-13 or are they not MS-13? Put them in front of a judge and let the judge, determine what's going on. If they can't even talk to the judge to say what they think is right or what they think is wrong. Here's a picture of Judge Paula Xinis. Judge Paula Xinis, I don't know anything about her. Here's a little picture of Stephen Miller mocking the judge who, he's like, she thinks she's the president of El Salvador. She doesn't think that she's the president of El Salvador. She just knows right from wrong, and we know that this guy is innocent. U.S. District Judge of the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland. The Department of Justice, Pam Bondi and Donald Trump, they have no evidence that this guy's MS-13. They're just picking random brown people, out of a hat and claiming that they're MS-13 or Barrio 18 or Tren Aragua. So she's of Greek ancestry, a Bachelor's of Arts. She's a U.S. District Judge for Maryland. So she's the district judge for Maryland. You only got so many district judges. And so a Maryland district judge who was appointed by, Barack Obama. I'm sure they're going to make hay about that, right? Preceded by Deborah K. Casanel. Don't want to know anything else. She's been a federal judge since, for 8 years now. So it'd be interesting to see what the dump administration, the chump administration, it looks like they're a bunch of criminal bastards, but we'll see what happens. They haven't totally just put a middle finger to the court systems just yet. They haven't said, hey, we get to do what the hell we want to do. We don't care about the legislative. We don't care about the judicial branch. This is a dictatorship. This is a fascist, totalitarian dictatorship. We're going to kill these Palestinians, and if you protest against it, well, we're going to probably just throw you in jail and put you into a damn El Salvador Gulag too. So that's a little bit about Paul Xinis. Here's some information about Abrego Garcia. The Salvadorian national in the U.S. since 2012 was deemed in danger in 2019 as a result of a purported tie to the MS-13 gang. He was detained for months before a judge agreed that he faced credible fear of persecution by another gang, the Barrio 18, that he said had been extorting his family. As a result, Abrego Garcia was released into the U.S., where he was living with his wife and son, both U.S. citizens, when immigration authorities detained and deported him last month without warning. He's long denied having links to MS-13. So the reason why he's in America, because Barrio 18 had been extorting him. He says he's not a part of MS-13. Do you have a tattoo? Do you have somebody saying that he's a part of MS-13? Where the hell did you even get that damn information from? The Justice Department admitted last week that it had erroneously sent Abrego Garcia back to El Salvador in contravention of the 2019 court order, though officials contend they still view him as an MS-13 member who presents a danger to the U.S. They're just making shit up. So the judge had the lawyer who actually defended this guy, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, you had a DOJ lawyer who's going to get, fucking kicked out. You have this lawyer who's going to get, turned down by Pam Bondi. Let's just get a picture of Pam Bondi. And so the lawyer, they said, hey, where is your evidence, of any of the stuff that you're saying? And the guy was like, I wish I had, some evidence. The DOJ, the government lawyer, he admitted that the deportation was an error. He admitted that the deportation was an error, and Pam Bondi suspended him. How dare you tell the goddamn truth? We are not a truthful fucking organization. We're a criminal organization. And so this lawyer, Erez Reuveni, let's see if we got a picture of this Erez Reuveni. He's the one that accidentally, told the truth. Whoopsie daisy. He accidentally told the truth. Is this the guy? It's a picture that's coming up. I'm not for sure. They're talking about the wrongful deportation of, this guy. So I'm not for sure exactly which picture is Erez Reuveni. But Erez Reuveni, they're saying that he accidentally told the truth and said that the Justice Department, they don't have, whoopsie daisy. No, this is the guy we deported, right? Abrego, Garcia. This is the guy that they say they deported. And so Erez Reuveni accidentally said that the DOJ's got no evidence. We have no evidence that he's MS-13. We've got no evidence. We have no accusation, no credible accusation. We don't have a picture. We don't have a tattoo. We don't even have a person, a witness. We don't even have a guy or a lady, a woman. Nobody in the world has ever said that this guy is MS-13. He does have brown skin, and he is from El Salvador. I mean, do you need any more evidence besides that? So Pam Bondi went ahead and suspended that lawyer for telling the truth. Pam Bondi, the fucking attorney general, because, she's a gangster, right? They're gangsters. They're a bunch of criminals. The Trump administration is a bunch of criminals. They like to bomb Palestinian children. They like to bomb people in Yemen. They like to bomb Somalia. They're kind of bombing anybody and everybody. Nobody's paying attention to this stuff. And, at least somebody's paying attention to this Abrego Garcia. Maybe we might be able to save one person out of this onslaught of totalitarian fascism. But apparently, according to Pam Bondi, you gotta kiss Donald's fat ass. You gotta kiss his fucking criminal fat ass. If you're a lawyer for the DOJ and, somebody in Donald Trump's administration does some crimes, you have to defend their crimes. You have to defend, if you see any of the damn videos, it looks like a bunch of masked up fucking, talk about MS-13, maybe we could see some of the videos where they have the, it looks like gangsters or whatever, but all the officials are wearing masks. So who's the gangsters now, You have all these, let's see, El Salvador prison. So all the so-called public officials are wearing masks. So you're going to try to tell me, so this was an illegal act, shocks the conscience. How could you even do something like that, you sick sons of bitches? The fuck's the matter with you? Yeah, look, taking the...
These pictures.
So these are the good guys, right? So I can't tell if you can see that picture or not, but these guys with the mask, those are the good guys. Show your fucking face, man. Why are you all masked up? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to be the good guy, but look, talk about looking like stormtrooper motherfuckers. They're like, well, we don't want anybody to know, and then all the fucking shielded up, helmet wearing guys. It's fucking incredible. It's almost like they know what they're doing, and so they don't want anybody to know that the technology and shit that they're using, right? I mean, look at this. This is the good guy. I like that guy. He's got a helmet and we see his face. But who the fuck is this piece of shit? You're telling me that's not Al-Qaeda? That's not a fucking terrorist? Not the guy being shaved, but the guy that's holding him. I mean, look at this guy. He's all masked up. Who the fuck is this guy? Why has this guy got a mask on? The prisoners or whatever are showing their faces. But look at this. A whole line of just masked up motherfuckers. It doesn't make any sense. The reason why you would wear a mask if you're a part of the KKK, right? And then the way that they're fucking, manhandling them, making them like stoop over and shit and walk like all stooped over. It's kind of insane. It doesn't even look like he's not fighting, he's not resisting. It's like a perp walk, right? And they're just perp walking them, just like making them look stupid as shit. I mean, if they weren't MS-13, like, now you're surrounded by MS-13, and then now if you're in Barrio 18, that would be the worst nightmare in the world. let's watch that again. If you were, being harassed by these gang members, and you got to Maryland, and for the last 13 years you had a good job, you got a wife and kid that you're taking care of, and you're being a good American, if not citizen, then soon to be citizen. Now you're being shipped back to the very gangsters that you had fled from, so you try to get asylum, you try to do the right thing, but instead of getting asylum and doing the right thing, getting a job, taking care of wife, they're now shoving him right back into fucking crime town. They're forcing him to be a fucking criminal whether he wants to or not. And then all these motherfuckers, and this is all taxpayer stuff, so it's not like El Salvador is just doing this as a favor for us. We're paying for the prison, we're paying for the damn planes, we're paying for the bombs that are killing the Palestinian children. Is that what you like, America? Spending a shit ton of fucking taxes so that way you can throw a bunch of innocent people in jail and kill a bunch of babies and kill a bunch of kids? Don't even talk to me about no pro-life, you fucking two-faced, fucking hypocritical fucking fucks. And what's up with the goddamn weather? And how come the planes keep on falling out of the sky? We gonna have fucking hurricanes and tornadoes for the next 3.5 fucking years? So they got new evidence that the guy is MS-13. They got no evidence whatsoever, and they're okay with it. They're alright with being a bunch of criminal fucks. That's what they do, that's who they are. Why should they give a shit about the truth? Why should they care about due process? The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all this shit seems like it's out the door.